I'm sure you've heard that natural sunlight exposure is great for your health, great for your vitamin D levels. Well, did you know that there are a number of other health benefits that are so important for your overall health? I'm going to go through 10 of the best health benefits of getting some good natural sunlight exposure and, of course, doing it safely. Okay, number one, the first benefit is weight loss and actually helping to control your hunger. And this has a lot to do with your leptin level, something that I talk a lot about in my content. It's something that you really, if you do have a leptin resistance issue, it's something that you definitely need to address in terms of your overall health, your metabolism, and your overall inflammatory responses in your body. Being out in that natural sunlight exposure actually shuts down our hunger, and there are a lot of different mechanisms as to why and how that's working and helping with that weight loss as well. Okay, benefit number two is cardiovascular benefits. So being out in natural sunlight exposure actually can help to lower your blood pressure levels. And one of the mechanisms how this is working is that you may have noticed when you've been in the sun for a bit that you get a little bit pink. Well, that is the blood coming to the surface of your skin to capture more of that sunlight, and now that's going to increase your nitric oxide, and the nitric oxide is a vasodilator. It helps to dilate your blood vessels, allowing for better blood flow and therefore decreasing that blood pressure, and of course doing it naturally. Okay, another benefit of the sun is insulin regulation. So did you know that diabetics who are on insulin, they may need to actually lower their insulin dosages when they have more natural sunlight exposure? So that's something that, again, you wouldn't necessarily put those two hand in hand in terms of being out in the sun and balancing your blood glucose levels, but this is in fact what is happening, and more research is now looking at this correlation. Okay, benefit number four of being out in the sun is, of course, increased melanin. Now, melanin, so that dark pigmentation that we see in our skin, the more sunlight exposure that we have, is our natural sunscreen and will allow for us to spend even more time outside, which of course is more healthy. And of course, that melanin is a natural pigment that is also a natural antioxidant. So really important for our overall brain function as well. Melanin actually is pulled into our deeper organs. So it's so important to get enough melanin on the outside whenever we have the chance to build it up. Okay, benefit number five of the sun is good mood. So this has actually been researched that sunlight exposure, being out, this is why everybody feels great usually on a nice sunny vacation out on the beach, because that sun helps to balance our dopamine and increasing our serotonin levels, of course, our feel-good hormones in the brain. Okay, number six on my list is better cognition and memory. So better brain power due to that natural sunlight exposure. Number seven, better sleep. And this is important because especially when you're seeing that early morning light, you've heard me talk a lot about seeing that sunrise come up. Well, that actually helps to build up your melatonin levels for later in the day for that good and restful deep sleep. Okay, number eight on my list is circadian rhythms and why that's so important to be in tune. So your internal environment has to be in tune with the outside world. And that has a lot to do with the light and dark cycle of the day. This will now entrain your master clock in your brain with your other organ clocks in your digestive tract. And that is all in sync. Even your microbiome follows a certain rhythm based on the light and dark cycle of the day. So getting that natural sunlight exposure in the light hours of the day is so important for balancing out your circadian biology. Okay, number nine on my list is your bone density. Now, yes, we know that vitamin D is super important to make sure that all those minerals, like the big one, calcium, gets into the bones, for strong teeth as well, because of having that UV exposure on our skin to build up our vitamin D stores. And number 10 on my list is hormonal regulation. So balancing our hormones, yes, so things like testosterone, estrogen, progesterone are all balanced by having natural sunlight exposure. So we do ourselves a disservice by not going out into natural sunlight, especially throughout the day when the sun is out, even if it is a cloudy day. So important that we take a few moments at least outside, out of our indoor environment under artificial lights, get outside, enjoy that sun so that you can help to balance out your hormones. Now, I've got a question for you. Do you fear going out into the sun because of what you've been told? Well, I want to hear from you in the comments. I'm very curious about this. But for more tips on how to get that safe sun exposure that I've talked about, please check out 6 safe sun exposure tips in this video over here. I'll see you there.